Oh look, a really good game for once. Okay then, gameplay wise. It hasn't really improved that much since Brotherhood. They just added a hook blade, and what it does it just makes climbing sometimes a bit faster. Sometimes. And then bombs, which isn't really needed, it just make the game a whole lot easier. That's about it really. The rest shouldn't even be considered. It's just how it should be. Anywho, the city. Well, if I gotta be honest, Constantinople was a shitty to be honest. I think it's better when it's multiple cities you visit or a city that's uh, some areas of the city is off limits until you progress through the story. And I don't really remember, but I think Brotherhood was like that. You couldn't really go everywhere in the beginning, but I'm not really sure. Other than that, well, the atmosphere is really good, but that's just because, like all the other Assassin's Creed games, they borrow the atmosphere because it happened in reality. That's how it was like back in the good old days, I guess. That's why they borrow a lot. They don't really build up an atmosphere or anything. And with the guild master and shit that was introduced in Brotherhood, it wasn't really that much improved either. It was also less the same. It was more about controlling cities. And also that defensive mission that you did to defend the outpost, whatever it was with assassin. You won't really. I just did it 3 times, but because 2 of those times I fucked up and one was just a tutorial level. It's pretty easy to avoid it, but it's good. But they should have focused more on that to happen automatically sometimes. And well, if you look back in the first Assassin's Creed game, it was the same thing over again. It was very repetitive. In the second game, they really improved everything. It was really good. Then in the Brotherhood, it was a few big improvements, the guilds and shit. And this, it wasn't really an improvement at all, to be honest. And well, now then, the story, which was the only real interesting part in this game at least, because the gameplay wasn't really all that improved. Well, to be honest, the real story that's going on in Constantinople, I think that's driving the game, isn't really all that great. The good parts or the great parts are Desmond's story and Altair's story. I mean, the story was more about this finding these artifacts to show Altair's life. And well, they didn't really show anything interesting for the universe. It was more about how Altair's life was. I mean, they didn't really change the concept of Altair. He's still a mystical mentor. And with Desmond, you can collect these fragments of the Anonymous, or what the fuck it was, to enter some special areas in the Anonymous bot, I guess. And well, the only thing they actually do is gives more information of Desmond. And the thing is really good, but it's kinda, well, I think they wanted it to build up to something in the ending, but I already figured it out, but they don't really act like it was something special, so I think they were supposed to figure it out yourself. And well, yeah. And with Constantinople, it just feels like a goddamn, I don't fucking know. I mean, be done with it, unnecessary fucking evil, nothing really big for the universe or the game. I mean, the game was about these things of Altair's story. Not the same with Constantinople. I guess, yeah, it's unnecessary fucking evil. Because the only interesting for the universe was maybe Sophia, and of course he's probably gonna marry her, and that's, you know, the ancestors of Desmond. That's why he can recall these memories. Other than that, it wasn't really all that fucking special. But then in the fucking end, I mean the ending, not the ending with Constantinople, I mean the end with the entire story with Desmond or Altair's. I mean, I started thinking that, well, this is probably the worst game in the Assassin's Creed series or franchise, I don't fucking know. But then the fucking ending came. And fucking hell, it's still a fucking great game. I mean, if you look back again, Assassin's Creed 1 it was a great game. It was great, even though the gameplay was repetitive and the story was a little bit flushed out. It was still fucking great. Then Assassin's Creed 2, which was a huge fucking improvement, and it was fantastic. And then Brotherhood, well, it wasn't really that big of an improvement. It was more about the story, and well, it went down to great again. And then I thought this was a good game, but now it's still a great game, but it's not as great as Brotherhood, but it's still great. If you know what I'm saying. And that with Assassin's Creed 2 and 1, I don't really say it's the truth because it's been a long time since I played it, so don't take my fucking word for it. Maybe I'll replay those later, I don't fucking know. Anyway, the multiplayer got a story as well. It was really interesting. Too bad it doesn't really fucking lead to anything. I mean, okay, it leads to one thing that, yeah, if you're dumb, then you're gonna figure it out. I mean, what they wanted to say with the Desmond stories and all that shit. Other than that, fuck no, not really. Why is the Assassin's Creed story so fucking good? Or so fucking great? Well, it's because they give you the option of, you know, finding more information if you want. At least they added it in the second one. I mean, if you want some more information, you can just look it up. I mean, if you want it. And the gameplay works in the way, well, it's open world, so you had a lot of shit you could do. Either way, you can just fucking sit down and think about the fucking story, or you can, you know, do some fucking fun gameplay if you like. And also the entire game is telling this kind of way that they tell you everything, but you still don't understand what will happen next. Some people say it's a bad when a story tells you that well, but I say it's fucking great because at least you fucking know what the universe is about. You know the story, but it's still how to say it? It's still unpredictable. But anyway, Assassin's Creed Revelation, I gotta say, it's the last game. I hope it must be the last fucking game that is a fucking expansion of Assassin's Creed. The next game must be a huge fucking improvement. Otherwise, I mean, they are just milking the living fuck out of every fucking character. I mean, okay, I haven't really played Bloodlines and all those PSP games, but I read up on the story, so a lot of shit makes sense. But they explained it in the fucking this game as well, so it doesn't really. I mean, Assassin's. I mean, Revelations. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, it's a very fucking good, great game. Still, it's still a great fucking game. Oh, and well, Subject 16, I think it was. Still a fucking mystery as fucking ever. Doesn't really reveal anything, to be honest. Or maybe I'm just too fucking stupid. And the characters are they're well built. I mean, it's enough. So you should care a little about them. I mean, it's enough. It's not fan fucking tastic, but it's enough. Well, I think that's about it. Maybe I forgot something. I'm not entirely sure. But as always, Assassin's Creed Revelation, it's a great game. Not as great as Brotherhood, but still a great fucking game.